We are now streaming live. Oh yeah.
There's the Webby!
Yes, our esteemed commander is not yet with us, and I don't know if our science officer has yet to appear.
He's on there as well, actually.
Yeah.
I brought him.
So, if we say their names 3 times, we should summon them.
Webby, Webby, Webby.
Okay, that didn't work.
So, see, and we can't even do the pie gravy quote because that's the wrong person to summon.
Whoever's randomly yelling to the void that Rolls Royce is calling for him.
Steady now. We don't want his blood pressure to go back up now, do we?
No, that's a bad plan. You need to parker that idea.
Well, reverse, Rolls Royce has gone bust.
Well, how about we play that lovely, lovely intro, and we'll see if we can't get a full crew by the time it's done, eh?
Okay.
Alright then. So first we stop with the tinkly tinkly. And we roll that intro. And hello everyone! We're now in fabulous HD, for now. So yeah, you can actually see what's going on the intro video. Imagine that! Technology.
With
And we just
extra
had somebody
special
join.
effects.
Yes, we had the Webby arrive.
Hey, excellent.
Hello.
Well,
Commander?
once again,
I was almost
kudos.
there, you guys weren't there.
Once again, kudos for the intro does have to go to Gareth and, of course, to Kevin MacLeod for giving us permission to use Fanfare for space. So thanks again, both of you.
Hey. Also, does saying the word MacLeod count as a cross-franchise reference?
Not yet, but when I eventually say at the end of the Klingon competitions you guys have got to do in this episode, if I do happen to mention there can be only one, you'll know what I'm doing with it. In any case, welcome back, everybody. So, the first thing we do is to roll that intro music again, just to make sure that everybody can hear what's going on over Sirenscape.
Yep.
My ears.
They bleed.
Look.
Everyone getting that through all right?
Yep.
Awesome. Cool beans. And everyone appears to be signed in to Foundry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Still no science officer? We shall see how that goes.
It's okay,
Right
we've
then.
got an engineer.
Yes. At least you got somebody who can think.
Just getting to bang some sticks together or whatever he does.
I don't know. From what we
Hey.
learned last week,
Hello.
some of us are starting to suspect that Vibers might actually have a sideline as a smuggler.
Yes,
It's not
sideline.
smuggling. It's,
No, that's his main.
Star
He
Trek
dro-
transportation. So Starfleet transportation code, definitely.
No, he joined
Uh-huh.
Star Trek to camouflage himself. Smuggling is the main thing. Starfleet is the side bit, the side gig.
No, keep it as Star Trek. He joined the entire universe just to smuggle.
No consequences. So, comment.
And yes, before anyone notices, I know it's the wrong Latude. He switched out his moustache and hat just for this episode, just to see if anybody recognised him.
Now, I'm not saying he's here in disguise to hide the fact he's currently here as a front for the Orion Syndicate.
Oh,
But
Latude is cheering on the opposition. That's why he's hiding.
yeah, who would have thought he'd cheer against the team that includes the person who's constantly threatening to throw him out an airlock?
I'm not threatening to throw him out an airlock anymore. Me and Latude get on.
So do he and Vibers, apparently.
Well, yeah, I
Well,
mean,
how-
Vibers is
where
presumably
else?
the one running the betting.
Where else do I hide? Sorry, store the things that we're not supposed to have on the manifest.
And the buffers.
Well, as it turns out,
Yeah. Is that why Vibers was annoyed that one time? Because the buffer's been taken up by the captain, booted out all the contraband he'd hidden in them.
I hadn't hid any contraband in there. That's a recent addition.
yeah, that happened after he talked with Latude.
Why
In
do you
any
think we've got
case,
3
sorry.
places for warp cores and only 2 cores?
So this is it, because people aren't giving you extra warp cores, you're having to do a sideline in machine
We'll smuggle
parts.
from warp cores.
Dear me.
Yep.
Well, let's give ourselves a brief little update, synopsis as to what happened last time. Note to self, undertake surprise inspection of engineering address. See, the funny thing about that is that at the start of all of this, Nova was the one who had the contraband on their character sheet. How times have changed.
Technically, I thought she put it on the ship.
Yeah, I'm
because
pretty sure it's on the ship.
The ship's got like 400 tons of not prawn.
I haven't checked if that's still there or not, so maybe later.
We got 3.5 months as well.
Time enough for Latude to get rid of it all. Out of spite. Anyways, yes. Last time on Star Trek Navis, we were on Narendra Station where the Klingon Empire has decided to kick out all Federation types from the station. So, Federation members are on a countdown now to start evacuating the station. But until that starts, some of your Klingon friends, namely the captain and crew of the Mapui, have asked for the crew of the Navis to engage in a time-honored Klingon ritual called the Klingon Jah to basically honor the transition between friends to being respected adversaries, since now the Federation and the Klingon Empire are at odds. So, we've currently had 2 such trials, and there are 2 more to go. The first one we had was a basic capture the flag type of endeavor, just to test teamwork, how 2 sets of opposing teams are now going to have to work against each other in the future. The second test was a test of speed. So we had 2 members of the Navis crew versus 2 members of the Mapui crew, and it was a race through the station to get to the finish. Dodging obstacles, going round bends, and finding out that somebody appears to be trying to help the Klingons win. Now, into this little milieu, we reintroduce ourselves to the fact that the crew made a contact, maybe a friend, in a local Orion pilot called Raina. But there are, of course, more Orions on the station these days, thanks to your efforts in the episode The Prize, where you gave a certain Orion captain, Captain Tulem, and his crew docking rights to operate legitimate business out of Narendra Station. What passes for legitimate with Orions is probably whatever you can get away with before security find out. But far be it for me to encourage a racial stereotype. However, at the end of last week, when you guys were trying to backtrace the hacking that was going on that was trying to lead your two runners astray, you discovered that somebody on the station was using some kind of short-ranged computer hacking device, and the protocols they were using were Orion ones. You did manage to get one up on the offending party by basically reversing the hack and sending them data rather than the other way around. Not long afterwards, you tried to make contact with your Orion friend Raynor, and even though he did reply, it sounded like he was, shall we say, under duress. So, you have a little time now before the next trials begin. So let's move off of that, and let's move us back onto Narendra Station general ambience. As you guys have got a little bit of time now to prepare for the next challenge, whatever that may be, is there anything anybody wants to get done in preparation, or anybody they want to talk to specifically before the next challenge begins?
Commander Vipers, would you be willing to sneakily get into the system sensors and have it tuned to send us a message whenever someone next sends off the signal that messed with us?
Can I just check? You're asking me to do some, to double check the station's maintenance, because obviously it's not up to code, yes?
Exactly.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I heard.
Definitely what I heard. Right,
It's
let's
not
have a look.
Mr. Edwards, you still have a lot to learn on protocol.
I think we need a pep talk from
True,
Paul.
but given we know we're being actively targeted,
Yes, we're being
I can
actively
work on my
targeted.
wordplay next time, Commander.
Yes, we're being actively targeted, but that's not to say that there aren't parties on our side that are probably trying to do the same.
If they are, they haven't revealed themselves yet.
And who's to say that we haven't, that the Klingons haven't had the same situation being applied to them? We haven't asked them to confirm that.
It was only just so we know when we're being messed with, not to do anything aggressive, or even defend. To be
You know those anti-admiral protocols we've been working on?
Oh yes, the anti-admiral protocol. Remind us all what the anti-admiral protocols are for the people at home who might be watching
Well, these are the ones where we go, for when we can't control the computer because we're being overridden, we can't stop the action as such. What we can do is send a message and go, by the way, someone's done this and they're really bad.
So this was your
ignoring
computer
all
program
the-
to monitor who was accessing what, yes?
Yeah, this is the computer program to monitor things and see when things have been meddled with. It's already been set up inside Starfleet systems under an admiral's nose before, so
You want to
I
transfer
think
the
we can
program
sneak
from the
it
Navis to
into
the station.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
It's
see.
limited, rather than being focused on critical systems, it's just limited on the things that refer to our ship.
Ship and therefore crew.
Yes.
Okay, now, the question has to be asked, are you doing this on the sly? Yes or no?
do it on the sly or do I do it? Actually,
You
As
could
in,
be
do you
saying-
mention it
Let's
to a
not-
commanding officer, or
I'm gonna do it on the sly, but I'm going to do it on the sly in a way that it looks like it's a mistake.
It's
oh
like
whoops,
used to
I
removing
accidentally
all
installed a
software.
So
worm.
I'm not making it that hidden that this is happening, but it's a one of. This was supposed to go into research labs, and oh look, that was a 7 and not a 1. What a terrible shame! I've infected the station right as we're all evacuating.
I like how Vibers is willing to put his own reputation at stake just to do these things. It's almost like he's lived how many lifetimes? 3?
Ooh, trying to make it 4.
Trying to make it 4 lifetimes of adventure.
Whilst Vibers is doing this, I would like to try and pull Captain Akul and Lady Jadok to one side and explain the situation of what's ongoing.
Okay.
Just ask if the Klingons have noticed that anything out of the ordinary happening on their system through the challenges that we've been undertaking.
Okay. So
I'll do the diplomatic side while Vibers just sits there and just hacks the computer.
does anybody else want to get up to anything while this is going on then? No. Well, go on.
No. I don't really have anything I can do. Is Vibes is going off with his own thing based off my idea, so I'm just gonna let them at it.
So even though Edward suggested it, he's going to leave Vibers to it for plausible
Oh, yeah, yeah.
deniability.
Yeah, take the
Yeah.
guy.
Also, I've already been chastised by my commanding officer. So to continue with it would be going against perceived wishes.
He's gone in for Vibus' job and just wants him to get up the
Yeah.
disciplinary exploits.
Is the
Whereas-
commander encouraging me to help Vibers do this, given what I've just been told by the commander?
Whereas Vibers is sitting there going, I've got so many echoes of my first host getting all this stuff at the moment. Current rules, I'll live by the old ones for a bit.
Get it done.
Back in the old 23rd century days when everybody was gung-ho. Okay,
Kurt was
then.
When the
respectable
Prime
commander,
Directive
right?
was just something to be violated.
It was more like guidelines or a general order 1 or something.
I was almost going to make a comment that combined the words violate and alien females, but I'm not going to. In any case, let's first test Vibers to see how sneakily he can do this. This is going to be... Right, you're trying to surreptitiously go about extracting and installing a thing. So this is going to be a daring and security check for Vibers. And I'm gonna make it difficulty 1, but I am gonna spend a threat to up the complication range, because if you do get caught, this could be... So, yeah. Difficulty 1,
So complication range is...
19 and 20.
Okay, so 1 is default. That made us a 2.
Yeah, so, yeah, roll 2 dice, yeah, and it's going to be daring and security. I will allow you to use computers as your focus because you are downloading a computer program. Downloading and uploading and installing a computer program.
I love it,
Onwards!
it's Vibus' worst skills.
Okay. So, you managed to successfully pull down the computer program, and you do manage to successfully install it. You're not entirely sure how sneaky you were about it, though. So, while that's going on, let's move over to Andrews, who has pulled Lady Jadark and Captain MacLeod to one side, in which case the captain will also kind of get in on this, but Andrews still has the lead. So, Lady Jadak and Captain Akul, of course, more than willing to come over for a brief confab.
So, the first part of it would be to ask about whether outside interference is classed as honourable or dishonourable.
To which point... Sorry, go on.
Well, just within the trials.
Is it me or is Webby real quiet?
He's usually quiet. He's the same levels of, you know, Webby quiet that I would see here. Although, the question can be asked to everyone else, does Webby sound quiet to anybody else?
Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah.
I've just
better.
pressed my microphone volume up a bit. Someone had been pressing the drop down button, hadn't you?
Is that your co-pilot again?
Maybe.
Okay.
Right
then.
buttons.
So, saying, Andrews addresses the question, have you guys noticed anything? What was it?
Well,
outside?
no, it was just saying, is outside interference within the trials classed as honourable or dishonourable?
Lady Jadak kind of narrows her eyes at this, going, this is supposed to be a ritual contest between two parties, Commander. Any outside interference would definitely be seen as, well, interfering, and therefore very dishonourable. Why?
Well, we believe that there is a potential third party trying to manipulate situations that are unfolding on this. Do we have sort of like any data that was taken from when we were running the trials, etc.? I'd assume that we'd have.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Edwards would have thought it was the same signal from the Orion, the Orion ship of the commander that's here.
Yeah. So what you found out about what they were doing was, you know, backed up by the fact that you ran a trace and whatnot. So you do have data supporting your accusation. To which, looking at the pad, go on. Sorry.
We're not entirely sure on what's going on or the reasoning behind it, but obviously we wanted to make sure that honesty is maintained between the participating parties.
Lady Jadak, pardon me, takes the offered pad and looks over the data. I would certainly concur that it appears that someone is definitely interfering with matters. This is unacceptable. Do you propose any course of action, Commander? Or shall we continue with the ritual as is and see what happens?
I propose that the ritual is maintained. However, as the station is now fully yours, it may be worthwhile your security teams start an independent investigation.
Very good. Very well. Since Captain Akul and his crew, as well as you and yours, will have to start preparing yourselves for the next trial, I will notify General Kargan and our security as to the situation. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Our attention, Commander. Concern yourselves with the trials to come. But if you learn anything more about what is going on, do not fail to contact us again. To your teams, both of you, I shall apprise you of the situation when I return. So, Captain Akul actually does not go back and leans over conspiratorially to both Captain Dukas and Commander Andrews. So, someone else is getting involved in our little trial. And he looks around and notices that there are a good few people in the stands. Are we to assume that there might be some kind of financial reason behind this interference?
One would potentially assume that would be the case.
Last I checked, there weren't that many Ferengi traders here, but I do notice a few green-skinned individuals. Far be it for me to make any assumptions as to the nature of the parties involved. As Unfortunately, not everyone of my compatriots agree with the Federation's stance on Cardassia, and therefore resentment for our former Federation allies has escalated somewhat over the last few months. Therefore, I would not put it outside the realms of possibility that some of my own people might be involved in this. Dishonorable, to say the least. It's amazing how honor can be used to justify many things, though. Even amongst Klingons. Continue with the trials in your usual manner, Commander. If there is someone from my people involved, then I think it best that you keep an eye out and amass as much evidence as you can. That way we can expose them after the fact and bring dishonor to their houses, if it is indeed Klingons that are responsible.
I didn't mean to imply that it's potentially the case, Captain, but appreciate your comments.
I did not infer that you were implying, but I want to make sure that you do not take all possibilities off the table. You do need to know that as much as I do respect yourselves, and I do, there are many here amongst my brethren on the station who have been talking about preemptive strikes against the Federation before the Arcanus sector happened. I just want you to be careful.
Thank you, Captain, and the same to you and your crew. These are troubling times.
About to get a lot more troubling. But this is the Klingon, therefore we are celebrating our alliance, our friendship. Even though you are going to have to compete against two of my brightest next. Good luck to you, Captain, Commander.
And you, Captain.
And Captain Nicole steps away.
Be a quiz.
Pop quiz.
Lady Jadark returns after confabulating with General Kargan, who's up on the northwestern side of the training arena stands. Very well. If both parties are prepared once again, then let us prepare ourselves for the third contest. We have already had the contest of teamwork, the contest of speed. Now we come to the contest of wits. For oftentimes, when two adversaries do battle, those who come out victorious are the ones who can outwit, outthink their adversary. Therefore, the next task shall be a simulation of such a situation. 2 from each team will be chosen to undertake a battle of the minds on the digital battleground. The others, well, they may support in any way they see fit, as long as those doing battle are the ones seated at the terminals. The rest can simply offer encouragement, or can offer suggestions and battle strategies of their own. But the 2 generals that will be fighting, it will be left to their skill and reactions to implement such suggestions. We will be moving ourselves from the training arena to one of the science decks of the station. Choose your 2 main participants, Captain and Commander, whilst Captain Akul chooses his.
Not as such. So, our intellects are Vivers, Bertram, Edwards, Nova. I think Nova's pretty intelligent. We're going for insight, would possibly, but then if it's computer-based, Vivers is probably the best pick.
But it's not just computers; it's also strategy and whatnot.
I imagine it's going to be combat simulations. So, I'd say someone with military or military thinking, coupled with someone, well.
So that would then probably put Fazanan as number sort of like on there then, because he has the skill. He's got the hand-eye coordination for being the Helm officer, and is good at security.
So need quick reaction and thinking before countering strategies. So someone with that mind and someone with the other capabilities. So a 50-50 pair up, rather than doubling up on the intellectuals as has been put. If I may put forward to the commander.
As I say, I think Keval is probably a good choice on that then.
No, about Keval. My insight and my reason are quite low.
But your battlefield skills are... You're used to reacting quickly to changing situations.
So, rather than... If we're going on purely game statistics here, rather than relying on Keval's reason or insight, looking more for his control, his ability to type in commands quickly and accurately, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think is what is going on here. So, that does make sense. Keval does have probably the highest control rating of everybody.
Is everyone fake in the group?
Except
just looking for
Vipers, actually. Vipers.
I'm just looking at insight. Everyone's insight is like 9. It's like the one thing that we've all dump statted it.
And yet,
mine's 11.
I didn't dump stat it. I've not changed my stats at all.
My insight is 11. Thank you very much.
So you would then possibly so it might actually be that it's Edwards then.
Yeah, I think maybe we need somebody with. It's difficult with the Klingons to have a challenge that involves cultural issues.
It's science based, so.
Sociology is not science.
I think we definitely.
That's
Whoever's in there,
shots
we
fired.
need to have someone monitoring to see if we can gather more evidence of if we get tampered with.
There's that as well. That's a good point.
So I would say, if I may put forward, and speak freely, Commander, Captain. If I
Go
go
ahead,
in,
Mr.
I'd
Edwards.
say Commander Vibers and or Natalia. Natala, sorry.
Oh, you called him wrong, so we lose
I said
momentum
Natalia, right? Not
Yeah.
Natala.
now. Yeah, we don't have a Natalia, right? One momentum gone for the group.
Right. If,
That's up to you if you
if
want to
one of us
enforce that or not.
if
We
one goes in,
agreed.
the other one monitors, other way around, and so depends on who you want to get in. That's what I'm saying. One goes in, one must be out on monitoring, if either me or Vibers.
Fair point.
With Natalia.
Natala, yes, you were right that time.
You say Natalia again, and we lose another momentum.
I almost said it. I don't know why I've not said it wrong since we started, and now I'm just tripping over myself.
At least it's not me for a change. But then again, the night is young, so who knows? I might run out of threat before the night is over. Right. So yes, Alex makes a good point. Having somebody who can backtrace a potential hack is probably good to have not take part in it. So, what does everybody else think?
Nova, Bertram, do you guys have any opinions? I think Nova could potentially be an interesting choice because she is empathic, so it'd be able to put down or see what's going on, what the Klingons are thinking of their next move.
Would that be technically cheating?
No,
Not
using
necessarily. Using her natural abilities.
using her natural ability.
which is the whole point, you would imagine, behind choosing very carefully who your 2 participants are.
I mean, I have participated twice, so I don't mind stepping back, but if you think I'll be an asset, I'll step forward.
Yeah, same. I've participated in 2 events, so I'd step back.
Okay, so are we going with the Natala Vipers team then?
No, I was referring to them for more the doing the.
Speaking
Aha,
of,
we speak of the devil.
No, so the point I was making, it would have been Natalia supporting the Vibers or myself.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Stop him talking now.
Just stop talking.
welcome back, John.
John, change your character name to Natalia. We need some momentum back.
That's cheating.
Let's retcon the character's name. Yeah.
She's just not been corrected this whole time.
There's flashing going on over John's icon in Discord, but I'm not hearing anything yet, so...
Hello.
Oh, there we go!
Hello.
Hey!
Hey.
Excellent.
Is it me you're looking for?
No.
Nah. Sorry, wrong
Excuse me.
number. Try again.
Righty ho, John Boy. Welcome back. Right, we're going to have to do a quick recap for you, aren't we?
We need you to save us all.
Yeah. You have actually just been volunteered for something, so that's kind of interesting. It's amazing what happens. when you-
I had a disaster in hydroponics last time, so.
Yes. Okay then, for the benefit of John who's just arrived, quick summary. The start of the Klingon Federation War has happened. The Klingon High Council has announced that they are going to attack the Arcanist sector, which brings the Federation and the Klingon Empire into direct opposition. As such, the Klingons have laid claim to Narendra Station, so they've told everybody who's of the Federation who's currently on the station to kindly leave. But before all Federation folks are going to get shot of, the captain and crew of the Mapui, your good friends Captain Akul and his lot, have asked the crew of the Navis to take part in a Klingon ritual to honor your transition from friends to respected enemies or respected adversaries. And we are halfway through. We've had 2 trials so far. The trial of teamwork, which was basically capture the flag, and the trial of speed, which was a race between the Klingons, 2 of the Klingons and 2 of yourselves. Andrews and Nova did win that one, but there's some shenanigans going on in the background. Somebody is trying to actively sabotage, it seems, the Navis crew's ability to win the last race. Whether or not they'll try again remains to be seen. The next trial is the trial of intellect, and it's going to be a simulated battleground of some kind. So the 2 smarter members of the crew have been asked to participate in this, which were Natala and Vibers. Meanwhile, the rest are going to hang back and keep an eye out for anybody else who might be trying to sabotage your efforts once again. So, any questions or clarifications that you need on that, John Boy?
No, that sounds good to me.
Right, awesome. So, excuse me. I'm going to quickly grab Vibers and Natala. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if you've been made aware, but a couple of sessions ago, I started implementing a thing where whenever I got a crew member's character's name wrong, I would start reducing threat from my threat pool. But it seems that in order to balance things a little bit, you guys are now sacrificing momentum whenever you guys get a character's name wrong. And Alex has been doing very well at stripping your momentum so far, so...
Only once.
Twice. Three times a lady.
Does that count?
I might give you momentum back just for that. But I'm not gonna.
He doesn't deserve momentum back for that. He knows what he did.
I don't know what he did.
So, while you guys are going to be stood there, I am going to select the rest of the crew. And I'm just going to put you in the same place. So, let's move us over to the science labs. Let me move the other guys in who are going to be on support.
I don't like it how I'm in a room of my own.
That's fine, I just copied you as was.
It's fine, you'll grow back.
So,
we've got extra cybernetics.
The science labs, of course, are more empty than they were before because the science division has been instructed to basically pack up all their stuff and get ready to get shipped off the station. So, there's now some spare consoles. Be right back, no problem, Webbies.
They're not great
So-
consoles, they all run on Vista. That's how much they packed up.
We installed it before we left. We took off Windows.
Oh yes, that's a good point. Vibers did install a computer program that he had installed on the Navis previously to monitor who was accessing what. And he tried to be sneaky about putting it on the Narendra Station computer systems. However, as the 0 successes task check on the right should imply, he may not have been quite as sneaky as he thinks he was.
I was perfectly sneaky. There wasn't a single problem at all. Everything went perfectly fine. Or so I've been led to believe.
Ibers, why have the replicators started replacing tea with motor oil?
No consequences? Sorry, comment?
And why, when I asked the computer about it, did it simply return the phrase, ask Vibers?
I think that was actually quite an interesting Freudian slip, as it were, because now I'm starting to picture that Vipers has that on a poster in his quarters. No consequences.
No consequences.
It's a personal motto. Right then. So, Lady Jadark leads both the Klingon duo and the Navis duo into the science labs. Everyone else is currently stood outside, but I've kept your tokens here just for your ability to see what's on the map and in case you need to make task checks and whatnot while things are going on. Lady Jadark asks everyone to sit down, and in front of you are consoles. Computer consoles with a rather simplistic looking computer program. It's basically a grid laid out, and at one end there's a symbol, the Klingon symbol, and at the other end of the of this grid field is the Starfleet symbol. At which point, Lady Jadark introduces you all to the rules. This contest is simple. As generals in this virtual battlefield, your task is simply to conquer every single square on this virtual battlefield. You must dominate the field in order to win. Each square represents a piece of computer memory. You will use your skills at computer programming and any other tricks that you wish to use to your advantage in order to gain access to those blocks of memory and lock them. By locking them, you secure them. Once you have secured every single square of memory on the field, you are victorious. However, your adversaries can attempt to break into one of your secured zones. And likewise, you must find a way of not only assaulting empty let me start that again. You must find ways of not only assaulting your enemy's hold on the field, but also defending your own. Are there any questions? Very good. You have chosen your generals, therefore it is time for battle to begin. So, this is basically another... Stand a bit. This is basically another extended task, and like I noted before, my previous use of extended tasks has not been entirely according to the rules as written, so we're going to keep it with the rules as written for today and see how we do in comparison to how we've done before. So, you will not be making, we won't be doing, I won't be making any tests as the Klingons, it'll just be you guys making tests. The resistance and difficulty of the rolls you'll be making will be basically the representation of how much resistance the Klingons are putting up. So, Natala and Vibers, whoever wants to lead the attack, can do so. And you can utilize whatever method or tactic or therefore whatever focus you wish to try and use in order to gain access to memory blocks on the field, or maybe try and start attacking the enemy or start shoring up your own defenses.
If you want to take the lead on the coding side, and then I'll support with the...
So I'll get you weapons, you can organise tactical bits of where to deploy them.
Sure thing.
Okay, so this is actually quite a tough one. The difficulty for this is 4, at least to start out with. And you've got resistance of 3. So, let's see how well you do. Obviously, because the Klingons know what the trials are, they probably came in a bit more prepared for this than yourselves. You're facing off against their operations officer and their engineer, so not far removed from yourselves. So whoever wants to take the lead, I mean, you can try either reason or insight or even daring or control. If you want to use any of those, there's justification for any of them depending on the approach that you want to take.
Control and engineering, I have a focus because computers.
Okay.
I don't think any of my values were pulling in, so can't really put core determinations on this one at this point.
Okay, if that's what you think, then John, feel free to make whatever assisting role you think you want to make as Natala.
So this is on your so I assist with reason science to back you up for this one. In terms of, I don't think I have any speciality in what you're doing though, so I don't think
Not
What focuses do you have?
particularly, but Starfleet safety protocols could be interesting if you're trying to shore up the safety of making sure that the memory blocks that you have taken don't get hacked too easily by using
I have an
standard
interesting idea
Starfleet.
for the second role that we do, if I take the lead.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Yes, but for this, I'll provide some little safety assistance and try and keep you on track.
Nice. Okay then, so feel free to have Natala make the assist. 1 success. Alright, so that's still 3 successes that need to be done by Vibers. And you got him on the bean. Well done. Right, so what happens now is that we roll dice equal to what your disciplines were. So we got 5 for Vibers' engineering, and we got 5 for Natala's science. So, John, would you like to roll me 10d6, please? And we'll see how far down the work track we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think I counted there. Let me make absolutely sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, actually. Right, 10 minus resistance of 3, but Vibers has something about taking down resistance when it comes to extended tasks.
Okay, so we've got 3+ on engineering.
You do.
Using control.
You did.
So we can ignore 2 resistance for every effect rolled.
Awesome. So your ability to take certain blocks is predicated on you know exactly how to do to format memory blocks and whatnot. So I said how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You actually do 9. That's massive. So you dominate the field pretty early there. As such, you've had 1 breakthrough. That's a pretty awesome breakthrough. In fact, as a result of having a breakthrough, you've lowered the difficulty. After having such a strong start, you've now cemented quite a few blocks of code. Cool.
And we've got a nice little stash of weapons to take over blocks with.
Meanwhile, while that was going on, so obviously there was as soon as Lady Jadart gave the go-ahead for this to happen, there was a flurry of keypad typing from the Klingons and a responsive one from Vibers and Natala, both working together, managed to secure quite a few. The Klingons have got quite a few as well, but so far so good. The battle is going quite not decisively in your favor, but you certainly had a very good opening gambit. Now, at the same time, Edwards' data pad that he used from before to try and reverse hack the whoever was breaking in, gets a notification from Vibers' computer program that there is an access of the communication system of the station being attempted by someone who has tried to spoof their ID. So,
recording. What?
Excuse me. What would you like to do?
Now, this is going to be me showing my greenness for Star Trek.
That's fine.
I'd like to think some sort of security cameras are still a thing.
Yes.
Will I potentially be able to quietly access a system and just try and isolate where it's coming from, and then basically turn on the local security recording device?
Okay, so you want to first try and identify where it might be coming from before you can actually get the security feeds up.
I'm not going to stop what we're doing, but I want to, as I said, gather evidence to send to the adjudicator for this.
Okay, so I'm assuming Edwards is letting the other folks who are not taking part in this know this, or is he keeping it to himself for now?
I presume Commander Andrews, the captain, would have passed on the request to record any kind of evidence of tomfoolery. In that case, Edwards would alert the commander and captain to what's going on and request permission to proceed with this course of action.
So you want to try and find out this. Does anybody want to help Edwards in his attempt to try and trace where this spoofed ID might have tried to access the system from?
Provided we get the go-ahead.
Well, the captain certainly thinks this is a good thing. In fact, Captain Ducasse brings you all conspiratorially closer and says, I'll stay here to watch over Natala and Vibers. Meanwhile, the rest of you can feel free to try and see if you can track down whoever it is that's trying to sabotage what's going on. Whilst also...
security specialist.
Also, we don't want to stop them, because we just
whilst also monitoring what they're doing. What was that, John? I think I spoke over you there for a second, sorry.
No, sorry, I think I was speaking. Keval's a security specialist.
Keval is a good security specialist as well, yes. Does Keval or Andrews or both want to aid Edwards in trying to track down where this might be coming from? Because both have got reasonably high security, as I will display now. So 5 security for Keval. Andrews has still got 5 security as well, so...
More than that is that there's actually a security protocol speciality, so when these kind of recordings and such, Keval has the focus.
Oh yes, security protocols. Well spotted. Admiring his character sheet. Yes, I like that. Webby, Jan, you guys...
I'll definitely assist.
Definitely assist. Okay. Has Webby not come back yet? I'm going to assume not. Okay. In that case, Gareth, do you mind taking control of Andrews for the moment?
Yep.
Going to be assisting with, let's see, probably control and security for Andrews, 1 dice. Keval, definitely the same kind of thing. You can't?
I can't actually change the attributes of disciplines for Andrews.
You can't tick the boxes?
Nope.
Oh. I am sorry. Okay, maybe it'll have to be me then.
Sorry.
Can you at least press the perform task button?
I can't see the perform task button.
Has it not loaded? Oh, okay. Or maybe it's kept it out of the way for you because you haven't got ownership. Okay. That's a question I didn't know I needed to ask, but now it's also answered itself, so there we are. Never mind, it looks like I'll have to do Andrews for the moment then. So, Starfleet protocols, 1 dice. I'm going to make this difficulty 4 because they've tried to cover their tracks, and I'll spend a threat to make sure it isn't to 4.
So it was a science, and would it be control for me?
Oh dear, sorry! This is what happens when you let me roll.
So what would you say I need to roll?
Well, hang on, let's get Keval's roll first. Jan.
It's control security.
Yes, and you can add your security protocols focus to it, definitely. Oh, it's going to be all on Edwards. All right.
No pressure.
So what do you think you're going to use for this then? Control and science, using your communications. Okay. In order to get at the encryption.
I would like to use my determination. Those who have not learned from the history are doomed to repeat it. Because last time I tried to do this on the Orions, I fluffed it.
Good point, and well remembered, and I am more than happy for you to use that. Yeah, no problem.
And I want to grab a momentum as well. Which
Okay.
I've got to remember, that works with my untapped potential, so I need to do an action dice after this.
Righty-ho, good point, well made. So spend one of your determination, and remember to tag that you're using such for your check. Alright.
Oh, I've lost the roller thing. Give me a sec.
It's
Where'd
okay.
it go? Where'd it go?
Don't you hate it when you lose your roller?
There it is.
It's the last place you look for it.
3.
Usually could you stop blocking?
Don't you bring your science and logic into this?
Oh, mama! I said 4, didn't I?
Damn.
That's a good point. Then to do the it's D6, isn't it? So if we get an effect, you gain a threat. If not, I do believe I gain additional
Momentum. Untapped
the character
potential.
succeeds to one more dice with a momentum or threat. They may roll 1 challenge dice. The character receives bonus momentum equal to the roll of the challenge dice. That adds 1 point of threat if effect is rolled.
Yep.
So this roll D6.
Roll D6. Got a 2. So that's not an effect.
2 momentum.
That's an additional 2 momentum. Well done.
That's the one for over succeeding. It fills us up.
Yeah, right to the top again. Whoop.
We're brimming with momentum here.
So that was quite the shift, yes. From not having much, only having half left, to having all of it filled up again. Nicely done. Wow, so that spoofed address certainly seemed to confound Keval and Andrews's abilities to use security protocols to de-spoof it. But using Edward's knowledge of the encryption methods used, he was able to get a vague idea as to which section of the station you will be looking for.
I'll transfer that to everyone else, apart from those that are actually in the competition, still distracted.
Yes, so the location is not far from the Galleria, which is the equivalent of DS9's Promenade, but it's one of the side areas just off of the Galleria, so going towards the more not exactly residential side of things, but certainly not the command or the engineering area of the station. So that was a lot of very vague descriptions from me there, but you've got an idea where on the station you're looking if you want to go find whoever's trying to do this. However, with that many successes that Edwards just got, Edwards is fairly certain that when Andrews tried to use Starfleet security protocols to get a bead on where they might be, the hacker detected the attempt. So they might know you're onto them. So with that in mind, and a moment to think about what you want to do next, I am going to take us back to the 2 actively participating in the trial. So, round 2, Natala and Vibers. John, you said you had an idea for a new strategy.
So, Lady Shadark has a habit of using gender politics to belittle her officers.
Haha, yes.
And that potentially might be a weakness if verbal sparring whilst we play this out of attributing their failures to overly masculine strategies.
Okay. So you're doing psychological warfare to try and trip them
I
up.
think possibly something like Reason Command, even though it's not the best tasks for me.
Change your unit's names to like something more feminine orientated.
Yeah.
I will allow you to use anthropology as your focus for that, because that makes sense to me. Because you've noticed it with Lady Shadark, you know what Klingons are like as a society. They are, because they're such a warrior society, even though for a long, long time they've had women warriors too, there's probably still more than a fair share amount of gender bias as far as males go. So yeah, I'll allow you to use anthropology on that as a focus.
Mm-hmm. That idea spark anything for you?
Yes, I'm gonna back it up with my attack this turn being to the tune of a trill nursery rhyme.
Say that again, sorry. Explain that to me again, sorry. I didn't quite catch
So you're infantilizing them?
I'm making it look like I'm not taking this seriously, and these are...
trivial.
My units for this one, they're effectively whistling nursery rhymes as they charge.
So you're downplaying how seriously you take any of this.
Pretty much. Which fits quite nicely with the "you're just here to play while the women do the real work."
Okay. Okay. For that, I will allow you to spend 2 momentum to create an advantage of psychological warfare. And it will bring down the difficulty for the next challenge. If you're willing to spend the momentum to purchase the advantage with.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Oh, so I'll just put that in just by here.
So Natala leading this one now, assist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to knock the difficulty down, but there's a moment where Natala and Vibers' displays glitch out for a moment. As such, I'm going to spend threat to up the resistance by 1, as somebody seems to be hacking into your session from outside and is trying to make things more difficult for you. So, 2 successes and 1 success means you got 1 success over what you needed to succeed in this work track. And you used engineering and command as such. Davis, you get to roll this time. You'll be rolling 8d6, please. Let's see how well you do. The resistance is higher on this as a result of somebody hacking into the...
That's not the one.
So, what did we get? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not bad. Minus 2, which leaves 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, it seems your tactic is paying off, even though someone is doing their best. What you notice is, as you're belittling them, they are getting a bit flustered, and they basically go, "Ha! You think we are weak because we're men? Look at this!" And they start furiously putting in a more aggressive strategy, which then allows you to, in electronic terms, circle around behind them, because by aggressively trying to take further field, they've left some memory blocks poorly defended. And so you're able to get in through the poor code that they left behind and hack into those areas, those memory blocks, a lot easier. And they suddenly realize that parts of their field, on parts of the field, they've now become encircled. However, what you also noticed was, as you were taking some of these blocks, essentially blocks coloured blue are yours, blocks coloured red are the Klingons, and blocks that you changed to blue suddenly flip back to red again. So you're having to spend as much time trying to counter this invasive computer cheating, with also being extraordinarily good at taking your own memory blocks in the taking more memory blocks in the field. So I'm going to zip us straight back to the investigation team. So you've got an idea of where the hacker might be. What would you like to do? You guys who are left behind.
Physical. I vote for physical confrontation, but that's just me.
Would it be too much to potentially get the bulkheads in those areas to close around the person while you get there to confront them?
In Star Trek, it'd be more likely to be raised force fields around them.
But bulkheads works as well, because you know.
Would it also be worth informing our adjudicator that we have active interference and make it a joint venture? That way, it'd be equal saying while letting them have the arrest, so to speak, as it is their show.
Interesting. Okay, so Edwards is going to, stay behind and try and get bulkheads to close as soon as somebody tells him which ones to do?
Pretty much, he wouldn't do that. As long as Does the idea though sound okay? Looking to his commanding officers, because we will have to let Lady Jiruk and whatever force she wants to bring to bear on this person know what we're doing ahead of time, potentially.
Captain Ducasse, at the very least, offers that she will, as anyone who wants to go off and try and confront the hacker, do so. Captain Ducasse volunteers to stay behind in order to apprise Lady Jiruk of the situation. So, if you guys, the captain is basically saying, you guys go now, and hopefully it won't take the Klingons too long to mobilize their own security force. Whoever wants to go now can go now. Yeah, we have a Webby. So, who wants to go with Keval to confront the hacker? If you can find them.
Never probably.
Potentially Andrews to help. Potentially Andrews to help put her down, and Bertram to put him back together after Andrews knocks him down.
All right, Edward's going to, because they probably need to know where to go. Edwards is going to stay. Okay.
Well, wouldn't we have to know when to activate the trap?
It sounds like Edwards has put himself in a position to be the one coordinating everything going on, so he's acting as a relay point between him and the captain.
Relay point in the said.
Try
to box him in.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say him. I'm presuming box the interloper in.
Okay. Not bad.
Got it.
All right.
He potentially knows we need to do something to slow him down.
So, you guys go off. And so you've got some of you going off. So Nova, Bertram, Andrews, and Fazanan are going off to physically confront the hacker. Edwards is going to assist and coordinate. So Edwards at this point can just guide those who are going to where the signal suggests the hacker is. So that'll take you a little bit of time to get to that specific section, which gives us time to come back to the combatants at the virtual table.
Okay.
So, round 3. You've been doing very well so far, but somebody is actively resisting your efforts to do this. So until those guys do something about the hacker, I am going to leave the resistance up at what it was. But because you bought the advantage, your psychological warfare still applies to bring the difficulty down. So your technique still working. What approach would you like to take this time? Oh, you made a second breakthrough as well. I should have remembered that.
Since we went on the psychological side last time, the best psychological move I can think we could do is not to do a psychological move.
You've already created lasting damage, so let's see if you can capitalize on it, is it?
They're going to look for more. So rather than looking for more lasting damage and more crazy approaches, let's just hit them with a classical pincer maneuver.
Secret tactics.
Charge a section from two sides at once. Try and encircle on the continuation, and
the other thought I had was if we do repeated small offensives just to kind of try to basically batter them, I'd like make the most frustrating attacks possible, just purely on the computing side. Because if we can get it to the point where neither of the Klingons has their hands on the controls and something still flashes to the red, it basically exposes the hack.
What were you going to say, Jan?
The Stalingrad defense.
Lure him in, then surround them.
Well, just fight behind them and them down by slowly withdrawing.
Yeah, okay then. So you've got a tactic.
Oh.
That sounds like you're going
No,
by.
You've just,
Go on.
You've just brought up a really good one. So we've got a problem where we can't trust what we've taken stays taken.
Yeah.
So why don't we change the battlefield?
Go on.
Why don't we make all the memory locations busy with something, so everything slows down like we're stuck in a cold winter?
Ooh.
It doesn't matter what anybody tries this round, things aren't gonna flip.
Okay.
So effectively do a turn of stalling, because we can't claim victory on this round. Something's interfering.
Yeah, I mean, if we can basically just overheat this processor with just too many commands, and just like there is nothing happening in it for now. It's just going to drive it to a chugging.
Keep it PG friendly. Operation Mind. I'm not going to finish that.
Rather than Operation Mind Screw, yeah, just basically essentially make the electronic terrain difficult.
Yeah, confuse it. Oh, you meant that. Well, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds really good to me. That sounds like that's going to be a computers-based assault. I will, in that case, I will allow Natala to use quantum mechanics as a means of trying to introduce like junk code and stuff to represent the harsh Siberian winter, I suppose. So who's principal? Who's assisting?
I'm happy to lead this one.
Go on, then you lead this one.
And yeah, name the methods you're using, and well, I'm more than
I
happy
think
with
this
whatever
is
you choose to do.
definitely reason science for this one, I think.
Reason engineering.
Okay, 2 successes, 1 success, 1 over what you needed, gain a point of momentum. So, rolling what you rolled, one of you used engineering, one of you used science, that reads like 10d6 to me again. So, who rolled it last time?
I did.
Alex did.
Right, okay, so John, it's your turn, 10d6. Alright, this looks like a good lot of 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which kind of makes sense because you're not looking for progress, you're looking to stymie. I've forgotten the number already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus 2 is 7. That's another breakthrough. Rolled everything successfully. Code and it seems that the hacker wasn't quite as clever as they thought they were being, because rather than hacking into it as it was happening, it seems they might very well have left a bit of computer code in that automatically changes a blue to a red, a blue square to a red square. And so, as you were hoping, as the confrontation essentially grinds down to little to no progress, you do catch of your blue squares turning red, and even the 2 Klingons who are sweating things a little bit because Lady Judark is behind them, kind of still smirking at the insults that you were throwing their way to try and demoralize them. Now noticing that some things are amiss here. As such, that gives us a nice lead into Edwards. Can I get Edwards to give me I'm happy for you to go with control and science with what you did before, because this was the hacker had made a mistake, left their code in the arena.
Or
Yeah, use your communications focus by all means, because you're trying to use the communication method of tracking packets back to there. No, okay, I must have been hearing things. Sorry? The voices in my head. Which might be you guys still, I don't know. But, right, so, you've still got a vague general idea of which corridor section it might be, so you can turn on the security. Andrews, Thazanan, Nova, and Bertram to that section, but everything looks reasonably normal there. You can't see anything or anyone that looks out. Try your trace. You get another. You notice another burst of transmission, which suggests that the hacker has been alerted to your counter hack, as it were. So, your guys might have lost the element of surprise. So I'm going to quickly move us to your team. So, using...
It's dark!
Oh, I do beg your pardon. I forgot, did I? Where are we? The chimes at midnight, station corridor.
I'm the only one who brought the glomeromycota. Tusk, tusk.
So, yes, you are in a corridor that looks like one of the usual off the beaten path corridors.
Oh, Gareth, get it out your system.
Never.
So you've got a couple of rooms with like storage, other things, a couple of folks loitering around. But it goes without saying that you do notice that there's a green-skinned Orion fellow just kind of hanging out there on the corner. Starts examining his nails. Just kind of leaning against the wall there. So what would you guys like to do?
Hey Nova, it's suspicious.
I think maybe if we run at him fast, we'll find out whether he's suspicious.
You want him to use empathy? I thought you were just give the signal to unleash the Nova of war. It's like, go get him.
It depends which way Nova interprets that.
Well, you know, is Andrews basically saying, Nova, use your empathic powers, is that, your empathic abilities, is that guy suspicious of us at all?
Yes.
Was that what you're getting at? Yeah.
Yes, he's trying to deliberately look nonchalant, which suggests he's hiding something.
So, Nova can give me the usual insight and command check to use her empathic abilities.
You just take that as these Orion's always hiding something.
That's racist.
Apparently.
No, it's his mannerisms of what he's doing. That's a natural suspicious activity.
Okay, so this guy, pretty calm actually. You reckon that he's hiding something? Yeah, it comes down to basically his mannerisms, but his inner emotions are pretty calm at the moment. So, with that in mind, what would you guys like to do?
I think I must just sprint right at him and see how he reacts.
Okay. Sprint right at him. Well, cover the distance then, and yeah, surely enough, as you come at him, he goes straight for the disruptor pistol at his hip.
And I will just calmly sprint past him.
to see what.
Whilst he's doing that, can I kind of interject as well? Because he went straight for his disruptor pistol, which suggests he's hostile, and then just come in and clock him.
Okay, so
I think that's what sort of like he's now confused.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw this into a form of initiative. But because of the distraction that you've caused, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am definitely going to let Andrews go first.
In my mind, as Keval went by, he did his impression of a runabout just shooting by, going meow.
I'm about to scratch the Carpathian.
Okay, so if those of you who've got access to it want to look at the initiative, is that alright for you guys? Or you alright with that order? Change the order a bit.
I think I can move down the order, seeing as I'm probably going to have to about turn to see exactly what's going on.
So shall I replace?
Instincts take over and turn the momentum into another turn into a roundhouse.
So I'll swap maybe Keval and Nova around. Okay. There's Nova. There we are.
I'm using quick to action.
Yep. So you ignore the initiative. So every one of you lot basically acts first. So that's fine. And woos. You were going to clock him, so that's going to be a daring and security attempt versus this guy's daring and security. So the oh my god. Wow, I am rolling 20s today, which in this game is not good. So yeah, clocks him, so you get well, since I got a complication there, you got 2 successes over what was needed, but I'm going to award you an extra one, so you got 3 that you can add to damage if you want to hit him with an unarmed strike.
Yeah,
for 9 rather than 6. So.
Even though he was just looking at Fazinan going, what's he doing? Ag!
Guy's wearing no armor whatsoever, takes a 5. And with 4 effects, basically gets knocked to the floor. Nice. Down he goes. Woo. So, keeping the initiative, next up is gonna be Nova. What does Nova want to do?
As he's going down, I'm going to use him as a leapfrog platform and try and fly and kick this guy down here.
Righty ho. So again, that's going to be daring. Security, using his special combat form as the focus. This guy will get daring and security too. I'm going to throw in a threat to give myself an extra dice because apparently I need it.
Yeah, that way you can roll more complications.
I can roll more complications. I only got 2, so that's where. There we are. That's what Nova's up against. 2, as this guy just watched Keval run past. 1. So unfortunately in this regard, Nova loses, which means the Orion Guard gets to smack out with... I got 1 over, so I'm going to add 1 dice to that. I get 6 successes, which means Nova takes 6 stress.
I'll help that.
Okay. This guy basically got put on alert as he saw Keval just run past and his fellow pull his one, but ah yes, once per mission, half the damage. Cool, which means we put ourselves back up to there. She's made of tough stuff, is Nova. So, next up is going to be Keval.
Keval will sort of grab the corner to stop his forward momentum and then rush at this guy to try and knock him down. Actually, I think I'm just going to try and dive him over.
So, We're looking to basically, what, restrain him, punch him, kick him, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think dive him down, restrain him. Because
Cool.
we might want to interrogate.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's going to be another daring and security. I am going to give myself another threat because, yes, I might still need it. And, oh, okay, that's what you're up against. 4!
So,
We should use
momentum
the
fall,
value.
so you can still,
Yeah,
you can
use
still
momentum if you wish.
Yeah.
I'll use 3 momentum.
2 dice, yes, very nice. You watch now, he'll get 6. No, 8. Oh, it's a score draw. There we are. So, Keval, you come at this guy from an unexpected angle and try and restrain him. So both the Orion and Keval are just wrestling, jockeying for position. So the guard has still got had a hand on his pistol, but draw it because Nova came at him and spectacularly kicked him. And he rebounded off of the bulkhead, or the wall, whatever you want to call it. Keval comes around. No one has advantage, but they're kind of locked in a grapple. Dr. Bertram, unless we want to engage in the 1 in 100 times that Bertram has actually engaged in combat, what does Bertram want to do?
pocket moss to the eyes.
I'm not wasting my moss on these goons.
Blinding
You know-
with pot.
Unless I could go over to the prone guy and kind of inject him with like a sedative to knock
Yeah.
him out or something while he's prone. Can I try that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So you're going to make essentially an attempt at what's going to be daring and medicine. I see you've already chosen it. That's quite good. With any of your biology makes it for a very good check as you get out a hyper spray.
Okie dokie.
I am
Give it a
going
go.
to use this guy's daring and security as he tries to stop you from doing it.
And I suppose he gets some sort of. I was going to say, does he get some sort of disadvantage because he's prone? Apparently, yeah.
Yes, apparently he does. So yeah, that's what you're up against. So between Andrew's smacking him, yeah, Bertram manages to get down, put a knee on his hand as the guy's trying to reach for another weapon, and just injects him with hyper spray and knocks him out. So he has gone sleepy bye-byes.
Look up and just say in the fakest English accent that Bertram could do, so uncivilized.
So this
There's a
brings
cross
me...
there's a cross reference.
Yes,
To
indeed.
get you a tranquilizer dart gun or something, but at this rate, might be a bit easier.
This brings me to
You can't
whoever's
heal
left of
people
these
at
guys.
range. That's crazy.
No, but you can track that. Might be
I'm
able to.
healing this person. I'm preventing this condition from getting any worse from what's it called? Andrew's backhanditis. He's coming down with a bad case of it.
It's fine. We can solve this.
Are going to deal with that. I am going to jump us back to the guys at the table. So even let's make you guys invisible. Edwards, you can see everything that's going on. The captain kind of comes up beside Edwards so that she can see the display on the pad as the other group are going full Kirk on these guys. Meanwhile, Vibers and Natala. The hacking seems to have subsided. As such, I'm going to bring the resistance down to what it was previously. So, now's your chance.
Right, in which case, now's a really good time to get through their lines and time our attack with us also stopping the interference. So, can Vibers lead this one and Natala stop the interference at the right time?
John, you game for that? Have we lost a John? Oh, no, there we are.
Okay. So,
this is going to be difficulty 2.
yep.
You got resistance of 1, thanks to Vibers' talent.
And it's definitely a fixer up in this situation.
It's a smidgen tenuous, but I'll allow it.
Alright, it's hard working.
Hard working, I'll go for that. This is the determined push now, so. 2 over what you needed.
Considering I've been asked to do timing, I'll be working with control science.
Yep, that's fine with me.
And given the technical element of this being the final thrust, I'd like to use the fencing focus.
You know what? It's tenuous, but I'll allow it. It's strategy that can be inferred from one used on another. It's very Miyamoto Musashi kind of thinking. I like it. However, Natala has some difficulty translating the steps into actual computer code.
If I'd used reason science, that would have actually succeeded.
However, thanks to Vibers' rather unconventional methods, the aggressive assault does seem to work. There. So, you did get 2 momentum, so this is going to be, again, 10d6. So who rolled it last time?
I did.
So, Davis, if you can roll me 10d6, let's see if you can either get the final breakthrough, or you can complete the whole work track and end this. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. -1 is 11. My God. That is the final breakthrough that you needed. You have captured so much of the battlefield using that very aggressive last-ditch assault. All or nothing attack. And even though there was still space and a little bit of time left for the Klingons to make it, you've managed to successfully capture the field so definitively that the Klingons basically yield. They can't devise another strategy that would work that could help them retake their lost the lost goals, those memory blocks. So the Klingons concede the victory.
Where's got a little flag of the of Camp Kittimer flying over it.
Like it. So, whilst Natala and Vibers revel in their own victory and the captain comes up to congratulate them for it, we go to Edwards. Can I get Edwards to give me a control and science with a bonus of communications, sorry, a focus of communications, to see if you can find some way of finding who asked for reinforcements. Excuse me. I'm going to make this difficulty... I'm going to spend a threat and make this difficulty 3. So, Alex,
what was the roll again?
I think control and science is fine with your focus of communications.
I was thinking if I could squeeze anything else out, and I don't think I can.
I don't know. You can use another determination. Those who do not learn from history. You can
I've
certainly
already used that one.
Okay,
That was one I used before. I think I'm going to have momentum.
Yeah, use momentum.
Part of me's like, do I take 2 more and go for 4?
What does everyone else think? Is Alex
I
alright?
mean, you've got a good roll anyway. Yeah.
Well,
Might
it's
as
difficulty
well.
4, did you say it was? So it's
So,
gonna be.
yeah.
I'm relying on the. Was it 4 in 20 chance?
Go for it then. So momentum is gone, so that suggests you've bought 2 extra dice.
And the the 3rd one didn't go off. 4th one didn't go off.
Press reroll results and tag the same amount as last time, but just 1 dice. And I'll count that towards the 4 dice that you wanted to roll. There we go. So 6. I said it was going to be 3, so you get 3 back. And yeah, Edwards finds looks through the feed of Andrews and Nova and Keval and the Doc battling these Orions, and you can definitely see that more Orion thugs are turning up. But Edwards starts using his access to the security feed to start cycling through different frequencies, and does actually notice something, which means I will throw us over back to here. And on the security feeds, Edwards notices a creature who, under normal visible light, is not there, apparently, or at the very least it doesn't seem that Thazanan and Nova can see.
Okay. Was I able to get some sort of comm? So the comm frequency is coming from him, correct?
Yeah, seems so.
Hack
So-
the ocular implants.
I was thinking of trying to do some sort of feedback so it makes a loud noise. Whatever communication voice has makes a loud noise to alert you. But no, that works too.
Hack
Though,
into Andrews's ocular feed, and maybe Thazanan's too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Onyx will win.
Yeah, definitely.
This is where he rolls double complication and we go blind.
Well,
In
you've
one
also got
eye.
momentum. In blind in one eye, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd basically I'd let you know over the comms. There's something in this here. I need to be able to cycle through your implant so you can actually see it. So this might get a bit curious. For a
This
moment.
might get interesting. Let's.
With permission, Commander.
In that case, let me bring.
No,
Edwards'
he will actually. He is asking for permission. He will not do it unless he is given the go-ahead by the commanding officer.
Have you considered the determination seeing is believing?
That could work.
I'm
This will
I'm
be
all
just
for
like
it.
But as I said, does the commanding
Yes,
officer?
it's fine. I was the one that OC said it, so
What were you going to say, Jan? Sorry, have we talked to the feeling?
This will be just like having a heads-up display.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Google Eye.
No, it's gonna be started like Doom Eternal.
Or Thazanan's eye, as the case may be. Right, so Edwards.
Start pumping in the death metal soundtrack.
When the Doom music plays.
Indeed. I'm going to ask for daring for this, because this is a pretty pretty ballsy maneuver, but I'm allowing you to use science as your discipline, and communications as the means of breaking into it. The difficulty is definitely going to be... I'm going to put it at 2, actually, because you're familiar with Starfleet used, or Federation used communication protocols.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Wanda, does this mean Edwards has to buy us dinner afterwards?
4 successes, which means gains access to Thazanan's and Andrews's bionic eyes, and can update the feed according to what the security feed is showing.
The only thing you're able to say is, please pretend you don't see him, so that way when you'll get the drop on him.
Let's not also forget that there are 2 more Orions.
It's more for Keval, considering the warrior instinct, and the fact is I imagine he's still got his blade on him somewhere, considering he's the closest to the thing.
3, 4, 5,
So it's the whole,
6.
please don't just punch it as a reaction. Not yet, anyway.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You should totally punch him.
Well, something this ugly, I'm gonna slice.
Scratch him like he's the Carpathia.
You just find out that it doesn't like wreck it or scratch it during it. Like flies out, he just comes back and like with his keys just along the side. Like, tell me not to scratch it.
I've got a condition, right? The psychological condition where I have to scratch a vehicle with my keys. It's just, I don't know. Sorry.
Keying something. Right, so let's bring this around to Andrews. Takes first blast at the round. Right, so ocular implant has been updated. You can see the guy. Edwards has recommended you approach as if you don't know he's actually there. This is going to be kind of weird for both Fazanan and Andrews, because it's you can see him through one eye and not through the other. So this guy is going to look almost like he's part see-through.
I don't know why I'd pretend that I can't see him. I'd just shoot him from here.
Fair enough. It's more if you want to catch him. I was just thinking while the others turn up.
Shoot him, but say out loud, "Oh dear, I'm missing completely."
Well, that's it exactly. Just aim at the Orion guard and then hit the guy behind him. Like,
Whatever approach you want to take.
oh, I'm just gonna shoot him.
Okay.
Pretend you don't see him. Bam.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna play battlefield tactics as my foci on this. Is to kind of like just be like, hey, I'm deliberately aiming at the Orion. It's doing a Valerian. Wasn't me. I missed.
Okay, so if you're firing,
Oh,
yep,
God.
that's a
Not very
miss. I am afraid. So, yeah, it does go past the Orion and it smashes against the bulkhead. So, for the moment, the creature has got no reason to believe that you were shooting at them, because the shot exploded on the wall panel just above the Orion that Thazanan and Nova are grappling with. So, for the Mo, things look whatever. Now, it is this guy's turn. What's he gonna do? He's gonna disappear off in this direction. Do his thing. Nova. What's Nova doing? Now, Nova can't necessarily see this other guy, but it's possible she could try and zone in on the guy's empathic signature. So, what would you like to do?
Would Nova potentially get an empathetic reading off of him?
She'd have to actually try and, ping him out from the background noise of everyone else's emotions, especially in a heightened state like, combat. So I would ask for... Go on, sorry?
I think since she knows that Keval can see him and Andrews can, she'd probably just play like Ring of Roses with this guy and try and just flip him round so that all three of them are together.
So she wants to throw this guy at those two.
Yeah, basically.
Nice!
Or at
I
least
like it.
swing him in that direction through the combat.
Nova is a lot stronger than she looks. Alright, so that sounds like a daring and security jobby to me. That's going to be a daring and security task from myself. I am not going to throw more threat into it, because I'm running out. As such, I've got 2. So that's daring and security, please, from the Nova. No score draw. So, yeah, Nova manages to maneuver the other guy around, but he's quite big, quite burly, quite strong. He's not... As soon as Nova tries for the throw, he kind of lowers his weight so that it's harder to, but Nova has maneuvered him at least, so he's between her and the incoming guys. So there's that. Speaking of, which one? Whose turn is it now? It's actually this guy's turn, so he is going to bring out... He actually reaches down and brings out a knife. So this is going to be another contested daring and security attempt. So I get only 1 success, so can I get daring and security from Nova, please? Righty-ho, so he wins. And that means I get to use Dagger. And I get to add 1 to damage, but I'm going to add 2 to damage because you've got a complication. 4 and 2 successes, and because it's a dagger, it's got vicious and deadly. So those 2 effects translate to 2 extra damage, so it actually does 6. Does Nova want to use another one of her...
Yeah, I think I'll use another one.
But she's just got armour made out of metals.
So what did I say? That was 6, it actually goes down to 3.
Just use a gym body to use as ammunition in the blunderbuss.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, and this is why they're very useful.
But how many times has she discharged that blunderbuss?
It's twice now. But yes, Nova takes a slash along the arm from the knife as it comes out. Fazanan's turn.
This guy up the ante, so maybe I should just take him down.
Okay.
It's Orion.
Up to you.
I'll whip out my Ushantor and go after him.
Well, I may as well kill him now. Everyone knows that when Keval whoops out his Ushantor, you got no chance. That's it, you're done.
Oh my. I'd like to point out is technically we started this fight.
No, we didn't. I ran past.
You ran past, he pulled out a disruptor, you ran in to stop your friend being shot.
Exactly.
Also, Chaney, you don't want to kill anyone because we are on Klingons station at the current
yeah, but they are disrupting honor, so it is justifiable.
Right, so that's what Fazanan's up against, is 2.
I'll give you 1 threat so I can re-roll if I need to.
Alrighty.
Don't give him threat.
Well, this allows him to re-roll if he gets a NAF result. So that's a draw, so what do you want to do? If you re-roll, you risk it not coming back with the same number of successes, but you also get the chance of it coming in with more, so what would you like to do?
Ooh.
You gonna chance it, or are you gonna leave it as a score draw?
Chance it.
I'll chance it.
Okay. Press the re-roll
Wait,
results and just choose 1 dice. Which one are you
Take the risk.
re-rolling, the 10 or the 12? May as well re-roll the 12.
Oh. Bugs. Actually, no, I'm not going to re-roll. That's,
Okay, you've got statistically more chance of getting lower numbers with 2 die.
Actually, if you remember, you've got the Starcross.
Yeah, but it won't give me. Then I'll only have a 1 in 10, 2 in 20 chance for an extra result. So that's fine. I'll leave it.
Okay.
Wouldn't the Starcross instantly double the 10 on that one? Because you've got 5 as your range at the moment.
So if we,
Well, I don't know.
if we post that just to give it a read. You may choose to double your focus range, which means that, yeah, your focus range on is usually 5, it would go up to 10. So that would count the 10 as 2 successes?
2 successes. Yeah.
I'll let him live. He can. I'll try the result.
Let him live.
Let him live.
Keval.
So I just
Who are
posted
you?
up there
What
so
have
we
you
can
done with
read it.
Keval?
So are you re-rolling or are you leaving it as is?
I'm leaving this is.
Okay. So there's a furious clash of metal as knife meets Ushan Tor. A couple of sparks fly, but nobody manages to get the upper hand. This guy knows what he's doing with the knife, but then again, Keval's very well practiced with the Ushan Tor as well. Right, the Orions are coming in with disruptor pistols. Who are they going to strike? There's a fight going on here. There's 2 guys over there. Bertram is kind of crouched over their fellow. Andrews has got a phaser out, so let's target Andrews with a control and security difficulty 2. And I get 3 successes. As a result, that's going to be...
Ooh.
Disruptor rifle.
Disruptor pistol, not disruptor rifle.
Well, nice. No pistol.
But I got 1 success over what was needed, so I'll add that to the dice. We get 7 successes, 2 effects. Disruptors are usually vicious. They are indeed, so that's actually 9 stress that takes off. Decoration gallantry, half the amount of damage. So let's put that back there. Cool. Bertram's turn.
Nova's not the only one with a magical deflection medal.
It's called plot armor.
Well, I think at this point negotiations are probably unlikely.
We could try.
Well, you know, what would the doc like to do? You can try and render the Orion that's battling Nova and Fazanan unconscious using the same hyperspray.
Yeah, the doc me business when he pulls out the long rubber glove.
Or he can take cover and get behind Nova, who's got a bit of a wound at the moment.
You know these metal things on their heads?
Yeah.
Do they look like kind of like implants or something?
They're mostly decoration.
Right, oh right, okay, so messing around with them isn't likely to do a huge amount.
It's almost like piercings kind of stuff, but they
Right,
decorate the
okay.
piercings because, as far as I understand it, are Orions? No, they're not bald, are they? No, so it's mostly just affectation, it's decoration.
Yeah, most of them are bold, but it's not like they're not all bold.
He had a big old
I think-
magnet.
Gotta remember now.
I'm pretty sure in
Oh.
Star Trek Lower Decks, I saw an Orion crew member who had hair, so...
Yes.
So, Bertram can just hang fire, hang tight, or he can bring out a phaser on stun or something.
I think at this point with disruptor fires going on, it's got to be phaser on stun. The only other thing I could think of doing is not going to work if these aren't implants.
Okay.
Okay, I will try and stun the one that just basically the one that's nearest to me that isn't in melee combat and runs the risk of hitting.
This will
So
be
what am I
a
doing?
control plus security, difficulty 2. Feel free to use momentum if you think you need the extra boost.
Is that alright with people?
Yeah, use it.
Okay. Does that give me a third dice? Is that right?
You can also use your quick action, minor action, to tune your phaser because it has a charge. So if we just quickly go to the rules for weapons, you can give it area, piercing, or vicious. I wouldn't bother with piercing since they've got no armor. So either an area effect, which would be a bit difficult since the other one hasn't caught up to them. So vicious might be a good one to add a bit of extra damage.
I'll go with vicious. Yeah. Yep. I'll go with vicious.
Go for it.
And does that taking the momentum? Does that get? Is my right in thinking that's a third dice?
That's a third dice. You get to roll 3 dice instead of your normal 2. Very, very good shot. In fact, you got 3 over what you needed. So the interesting bit here is you can either bank some or all of that extra, those 3 extra momentum, or you can put it all towards extra damage.
I think it's going to be damage, given I've only got a Type 1 phaser.
Cool. So when it asks for damage dice, which should be 4, you can add an extra 3 on top of that. So change it to 4
Bertram's
to 7.
just pulling out his little pocket face like pew pew pew.
Yeah, Bertram fires his pocket phaser and goes, "Damn, I need some more double A's."
No. He's firing and going. I want to see if those implants kind of like conduct the energy into the brain.
So yeah, roll 7 damage.
Not implants, but they do conduct.
6
Wow,
for
9.
Hot.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out Bertram's took out nearly 2 Orions. And the rest of us haven't even done 1.
He finishes it off by throwing the phaser at the last guy and knocks him out.
Navis just
It's
too busy
obviously
dancing.
Section 31 behind this.
Bertram's gonna get
So you're the
shot
31
now.
spy.
Well, I've been blaming Orion Pirates for everything 31 related.
Oh
so
yeah, so
I've got
this
to
must
admit,
have been
That's
taken.
Orion Pirates.
Okay, Bertram's gonna get shot.
Yeah, well, their face is going.
Nope. Shot the other guy. Oops. And I used a phaser instead of the disruptor, so I'm all over the place. So there we are. Okay.
Don't worry, the muscle protect him.
So that was on the beam, so no, I get no extra damage. It's just regular disruptor pistol fire. I got 2 extra, so I did 6. So there we are. So that stings a bit. But alright, so currently Vibers and Natala and the captain are otherwise engaged with talking about the whole victory with their with Lady Dark and their Klingon and her.
What's a good roll for determining whether we're good winners?
just good
Diplomacy
manners.
stuff.
Out of interest, would the station alarms be going off because there's been weapons discharge?
Maybe, actually.
Normal thing.
No, they still wouldn't.
But none of the Klingon security guys are anywhere near where Vibers and Nova and the captain are because they're not in the area of the trial. So whether or not the Klingon security forces turn up, well, you have to wait and see, I suppose. Before we get into this round, is there anything that Edwards would like to do? Well, you've got the security cameras, so you can see that the hacker is back in, and he's attached himself to a computer console, and is trying to work something with the station security systems. So would you like to do something in that regard before we go back into the combat round?
Yeah. I think at this point in time, would it be fair to close the box?
Sure.
No,
You've
that'd
certainly
be
got
correct.
security footage of everything that's gone on.
that'd be definitely to the commander as well. Be like, do you want me to start trying to close the doors in and out like you requested? Like the idea was originally. Sorry. While the Klingon security force gets there. Commander.
Let's go with yes. Let's do that. The captain says do it.
Okay then.
So this is going to be control and science with your focus of communications to communicate the correct commands to the computer.
Difficulty?
I'm gonna make it 1, since this is a fairly standard procedure that you're electing. And the Klingons haven't yet done a full lockout of Federation security protocols, so yes. So we get some force fields flicker into being. So I'm going to put 1 by there.
The rest of the time, Edward is going to try and focus on locking out the Syndicate hacker.
Yeah.
Because now, using the box, we've got to keep him in the box.
Yep, 1 goes across the doorway by there. 1 goes by there to stop the Orions from being able to run away. Another one flickers across there.
How are we supposed to arrest him if he's trapped in the box?
Well, he can't go anywhere now.
With you.
You're in the box with him.
Captain said I gave me permission to do it.
There's a box, there's a wall there. Let's not put it.
But he can't go anywhere now, certainly. So, Andrews, you see force fields come into place. Do you want to keep trying to take these guys down, or do you maybe want to try a bit of intimidation to see if you can talk them around to surrendering?
No.
Okay.
Shot me!
This stomps on the down one. Do you want to surrender?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you just
you're
broke his
first up.
sternum.
Go for it.
Live.
Two successes. So who are you against? That guy? That is a full-on successful shot. On the mean, so you just roll damage as per normal. Unless you want to spend momentum on buying extra damage dice.
No. I don't think I need to.
No, he looks pretty well done. Yeah, he's down and out. He is taken down, taken out. He is on the floor, unconscious. Nice.
And then I think I will start heading over to
Yep.
here. I'll just wave at him like.
Yeah. He looks over at you and then looks at the force field, starts trying to hack into something, but he's been effectively shut out. So he just puts the hacker just puts the remote hacking device he's been using down on the console and just puts his hands up in a gesture of surrender.
Make his hacking device turn blue. It'll be funny.
Nova's turn.
Play whatever convoy he has on and
like
start playing the little song like Happy Birthday.
What would Nova like to do?
She's just gonna try and persuade this guy to give up. He's kind of on his own with, 4 Starfleet members in a steel cage match.
Presence and command, please. I'm going to make this difficulty 1 because it's fairly obvious he's on the losing team right now.
And Keval's frothing at the mouth.
3 successes, 2 over and above what you needed. So yeah, the Orions effectively surrender. So,
While looks at his completely bloodless blades and goes, "Aww."
So, not much time passes before the Klingon security forces do actually turn up.
Nova claiming a knife.
Woo, free knife. Alright, in that case, as a trophy of conquest, which the Klingons definitely are alright with. Let's get you knife. You'll have an Orion knife.
This guy's not gonna die because I'm last time. Or is he dead?
Okay.
He got shot in the face, I suppose.
So sometime later, the Klingon security forces grab the Orions and take them away.
Once they've done that, Bertram would start giving medical attention to those of us who've been shot.
Yeah. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, so any and all stress that you took, you do get back. And yes, with Bertram's ministrations, you are able to effectively treat disruptor burns and heal that slash wound on Nova.
Yep.
And yes, a couple of minutes go by as you give the security forces the details. You hand over all the data you've got, all the evidence of interference, and the security forces say that they'll take it from here, but they will definitely use what you've given them to follow up on what's been going on. So, you are escorted back towards the Klingon training arena. And that's when you notice some changes have been made, as I can just slowly but surely bring them into being. There are now a good couple of braziers lit around the arena. And there are more than a few people very quietly eager now to see what happens. You've built up a big crowd of folks. Strangely enough, most of the Orions who were there before aren't actually present anymore. Rayner is there. Rayner is sporting a black eye, but he's there. Meanwhile, there are, yes, burning braziers lit about the place, but there are also these... have I missed one? I have. These stone plinths set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side. And Lady Jadark addresses everyone. This is the final test. The test of endurance. Oftentimes in battle, even those who used to be comrades in arms will have to contest against one another in a battle that comes down to who wants it the most, who desires victory. In this regard, the final test will see who has the strength of will as well as the strength of body to persist even in the face of exhaustion. Each of you are to arrange yourselves behind the individual plinths, and a weighted stone will be placed on the first and will be passed back towards the rearmost plinth. The one who occupied the position at the first plinth will then go around to the back. No, that's not right. That makes no sense. The one at the back, the one at the rearmost plinth, will have to carry the weight all the way to the front. And then the rest will file back. As the trial continues, it will get harder to hold on to the weight, harder to transport it from the back to the front. This is a trial of endurance to see who falters first. Those who fail to lift the stone will have to excuse themselves from the contest. Whoever is left will have to see who relents first. May the combatants choose victory. So, basically, you guys can each take a position behind one of the plinths. Because there are more of you than there are plinths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Who has noodle arms of the group?
Yeah.
I think
Who's
that's
volunteering
going
to take part?
How's it? We discovered it was an odd number that I'm actually more fit than a number of some people. More fit than Bertram and Natala.
Bertram. Natala. Yeah, Natala's a fitness 8.
I suppose it depends what we're pairing.
The rest are on a minimum of 9.
I do have a unburnt determinations I could throw into things. Yeah.
Give me just 5 seconds. Well, not more than 5 seconds. I'm just going to need a couple of seconds to actually use the facilities. I'm going to be back as quick as I can because time is running down. But this is the last task, so we'll see. So yeah, talk amongst yourselves and try and decide who's going to take this task.
Well,
I'll be back
we
shortly.
need a decision out of Bertram or Natala.
So there were 8 of us. There were only 6 clips. So if we're
Oh yeah, the captain as well. Sorry.
I
was
think
doing the
the
captain.
2 of us who were in the last one just sit here and cheer.
I suppose
bring
it
the
depends what
captain
you're
in.
pairing fitness with, though. Because if it's something like command, suddenly Natala's better than Edwards.
I suppose you could justify it, can you?
I think it is going to be more of a fitness thing because they said it's going to be physical endurance.
Yeah, but
What,
you don't just
what if-
roll off fitness.
Yeah, but you'd roll like fitness and sort of like you could say that, and technically medicine is that you know how the biometrics work, engineering for understanding of physics.
Yeah, the other thing to worry about is that Edwards has spent 2 determination already.
I wouldn't have anything to throw at this anyway. None of my things match.
Whereas I could throw in voice of the crew and maybe safety in numbers.
Okay, it's me.
I wouldn't say safety in numbers.
Hmm.
Maybe not even voice of the crew, to be honest.
Team morale, maybe?
Well, if you want to put me out, I'm happy. It's entirely up to you, but I was...
All I'm saying is we need to decide what we're pairing it with before we just outright say fitness is the only deciding factor.
Fair enough. Would it be fitness con?
Let me see. Let me just arrange these guys.
I think, like Webby says, you could probably pair it with a few, like security makes sense, because that's just generally strength. Engineering of how to lift a weight. Medicine of using muscles.
Yeah, totally. So again, this is going to be an extended task with the resistance and the difficulty representing not only the difficulty of lifting these things, but also how well you're doing versus how well the Klingons are doing. The difference with this one will be that the difficulty and the resistance will start going up because these things will get heavier the more exhausted you get. So, yeah. And it's whether or not you make it all the way through or not.
Yeah,
so
it may be a case of, although it would be unwise for me to do the first run because that would be when everyone's fresh, I can use Follow My Lead and then also the Christopher Pike Medal of Valor, which runs from mission when the character uses the direct task. It automatically rolls as a 1. So like, Follow My Lead is that I can next time attempts count as having assistance from you using your presence.
Yep, whatever means you want to use to give yourself advantages, go for it. So, I'm going to need the final word on who is taking part.
I defer to the group.
Right. Well, I would definitely recommend that those with security be on this, because this is going to be a physical thing, but medicine can be argued as well, as Shaun quite rightly pointed out. So, yeah, those with good fitness levels. Claude wasn't one of the ones invited.
That's because they knew they'd lose.
Yeah, they knew they'd lose. Clark just single-handedly beat the Klingons.
Right, if we assume that the easiest role to make is fitness security.
So,
What was the stone we were carrying?
So I'm going to assume Andrews. I'm going to assume Thazanan because it makes sense. He's quite fit.
Probably Vipers instead of Edward.
Yeah, possibly. We all know that Nova is definitely stronger than she looks with all the shenanigans she's been getting up to of late.
Oh my!
This is not going to be.
So, Vibers
The
instead
captain's
of...
actually a potential to put in as well.
Yeah, if you want to put the captain in. Cool.
'Cause
One more.
What's everyone's determinations is just looking now to see whether people that are not actively taking part could actually be the ones that's burning determination to encourage the group.
Yeah?
Natala's, Natala's
I've
I'm
got
the
3
voice of the crew.
commands, so
Yeah, Natala's I'm the voice of the crew would be perfect to be the encouragement kind
So
of.
I could be doing presence command, voice of the crew, Starfleet traditions, all of that kind of stuff. There's just kind of encouragement stuff.
So who's at the end of the queue?
I think Edward's wanted it more than the others.
Well, I think Bertram's probably better at it than Edwards is because Edwards got 0 security and Bertram's got 1. So they
So
were...
if, as we were saying, I can use medicine instead of security, then that's fitness plus medicine would be 13.
Okay.
Which is one of the highest I've got.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Edward's last determination is those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
I've already used that.
Oh yeah.
It belongs in the museum.
Which...
you don't. Yeah, unless you've challenged it, it's not burnt.
Yeah, so you can use it again.
You can use it again. Yeah.
Oh right.
Okay.
I still didn't think any of my values would work in this situation.
That's up to you. However you want to interpret it. Okay then. Then if there's no further objection... let's get to it. The crowd certainly start to get involved as they watch folks start to lift the heavy rocks on the plinth and move them to their neighbours behind them. The Klingons, as you might imagine, are doing rather well at this because they are quite used to it. However, let's see. We're doing Follow My Lead and Christopher Pike Medal of Valor for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the difficulty is 2. And there's resistance of 2 in it, but because you've got fibers there, that resistance actually goes down, doesn't it? Or does it? No, we're not using engineering or
science
con.
problem.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a science problem. Well, it could be kind of a science, but not in this case. No, it's not. So the resistance stays. Okay, so let's see. You can get up to 5 dice, so 1 can be the principal and up to 3 more can be secondary assistance on this. Using either, yes, security or medicine as a means of trying to do it. Fitness and security, or fitness and medicine. So,
well, if I can't actually use both together looking at that, because it's if I direct the task instead of rolling, we treat it as a rolling force to roll a 1. But the Follow My Lead would be a presence and command.
You could use it on 2 different outlets.
Yes, yeah.
So if each of us who aren't involved, or aren't directly involved, can maybe roll to assist one of you per cycle, or
okay,
does that work?
That could
Yeah.
do.
Just for encouragement.
Because they're all there sweating and having to start taking off the jackets of their uniforms in order to not have to sweat so much. 3 successes, that's 1 over. Who was assisting?
I'll assist if you want.
Yeah, please. those who were assisting need to make their assisting rolls now.
My assistance was not very good.
However,
it's just that he's remembering his sort of like his days in the medical corps, like squats are not for doctors. Healer's knees, healer's knees.
Doctor, not an athlete.
Damn it! You stole my line.
He's already used that one today, though, hasn't he?
So if that's
I was very,
all
very
the,
good at faking illnesses, strangely enough, when it came to PE.
I think we're holding our encouragement for Nova and Vibers. They probably need it more than the others.
Nova's gonna enable us anyway.
Just tears all of us sort of like muscles out of her arms. It's like,
So it's just those two who are doing that initial thing, is it? Andrews and Bertram?
Guess so.
I guess so. Okay, cool. So 3 successes, 1 over what you needed. I am going to want either Gareth or Webby to roll me. That looks like that's going to be another 10d6. It is.
What shall I, Webby?
Yeah, you do it, Gareth. You've
Okay.
done a huge. Swap it back to me. Black dice.
Like my heart.
1, 2, 3,
when
4,
I'm shooting of
5,
irons.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Minus 2 is 9. So that's... Alright. So with that, yeah, you part so far, teamwork working quite well. You're passing the heavy stones behind you, and Bertram, unfortunately, is the one who has to take the stone, go from the back all the way around to the front, and then everyone else files down, and it passes back from there. But so far, you're managing, but this is only the first bit, and this is where the difficulty goes up. It's starting to, obviously exhaustion is now starting to set in because this is just the first bit.
Are we actually moving our tokens in the
No,
world,
it's more representative than anything else.
Okay.
Right, so the Klingons, as you imagine, they're managing fine at this point in time, so now let's see how you do at round 2. Who's going this time? Is someone else going this time?
Suppose I can go.
Yep, sure, you can be the primary. Who wants to assist?
I don't think I'm gonna... Oh, is the difficulty gonna be 3 this turn?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
So is it
I
the
think
captain assisting this time?
That's for Bertram or captain to primary.
Okay, maybe the captain.
I think
Go on.
I think I will want to use my value, keep only the best traditions.
Yeah, I can go with that. I'm sold.
It's a very traditional kind of exercise we're busy with, and
Yeah.
I think it's a good one.
So if the captain assists, then
Who wants to roll for the captain?
I'll do it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool.
Yeah. Matt, are you good to have both of my bits still floating then? So that they're still there if we need them? Or are they
Yeah, that's fine. Once permission, instead of rolling normally, they may treat their d20s if they rolled a 1. Once permission as part of a direct task. So we'll count one of these rolls as a 1, okay.
Well, I say either one. I was potentially going to use.
Well, which one would you like to use?
Follow my lead's probably going to be the better one to use, and this is that we keep the Christopher Pike Medal of Valor if it's getting dire.
Okay, that's fine. So just follow my lead for the moment. Okay. Especially since the captain and Keval have known each other for a while, so it makes sense that they would do well as a team.
And the captain has team dynamics.
She does. So
It's
go
just
for
one
it.
die for me for that thing, isn't it?
So Andrews is taking part as well.
I'd say that's the presence command bit burning off.
Okay.
That's up to you.
Right. Okay then, Jan. Go for it.
Good God.
Alright, with that many successes. Okie dokie. That's 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well,
He
he
would.
lifts it with his pinky.
I thought you were going to say something else for a minute, then I'm glad you carried on with Pinky.
We're managing all right so far. This is still a family show at this present point in time. So,
Well, lifts it with his family.
perilous task is used to allies. So yeah, just manages to put it to. Whoa, wow. Okay, so that's 8. So this is going to be Keval's security of 5, the captain's medicine of 3. But I'm going to allow an extra 5 dice be added to that, so... So, Jan, can you roll me 13 dice, please? Do you know how to do that?
I think so.
Yeah. Alrighty. I forget whether or not I've told people how to do that, so yeah, that's great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14 is actually 12. With that, you definitely gain another breakthrough. The Klingons are definitely starting to look like they're tiring. You guys are too, but one of the Klingons actually has to retire. I'm gonna make it the ops officer. He has to. He tries to lift it but can't manage it. So the Klingons are down a member. So far so good. You're keeping up. This is now going up to 4 difficulty because this is getting really hard now. I am spending a threat on also putting the resistance up to represent the fact that everyone is now having a harder time lifting these things. So, alright, let's keep this going. Who's going next? Is it going to be a Nova time?
Nova's turn to me.
Yeah. Who's assisting? Or are we buying that automatic 1?
I think this might be the one to double assist, so Natala will be yelling encouragement to assist as well as...
So that sounds like a presence and command, unless you want to...
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Who's assisting Nova on this one? Vibers hasn't assisted much on anything at the moment, so maybe it's time Vibers put his...
Yeah, why not?
So this is going to be fitness and security.
Yay! This is gonna go well.
And I would like to use the... and I would like to use the I am the voice of the crew to cry out this encouragement.
Yep.
I'm helping!
Okay. Tala, yep. Gets 2 in. So it's up to... Go on, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to explain what I was going for.
Yeah, go for it. Explain what you're going to go for.
Since we've got Ship's mum involved in this, and also Lady Dark, who has been seen as a parental figure around this, I'm going to burn a determination on empathetic orphan.
That's fine.
Oh.
That works.
She's going to do it in a Nova way, so she's going to be trying to like throw this thing up, catch it, and literally like show off to parental figures.
In that case, I'm going to spend my last remaining threat to up the complication level of this, because this is going to be dangerous if you mess this up. Go for it.
That's Natala now having a complication from the sidelines.
But as a parent figure, so the first, you need 2 complications to mug this up, because the first one's going to be ignored.
Okay. Let's go for it. So yeah, it's all down to you now, Shaun.
Yep.
Look out! And of course use the Starcross. Awesome. So you double your focus range. Cool. So which means you get 4 and under. Right, cool. That is not bad at all, but you still got 4 successes, which means you got on the money, plus the extra 2 from Natala gives you 2 over and above, which means that. Right, so we add Vibers' security of 1 with Nova's security of 2 for all of 3 dice, but because you got 2 successes over what you needed, that's actually 2 more dice. So 2, 3, 4. This is going to be 5d6. So Shaun, roll me 5d6, please. Ooh, right. Got a lot of 3s and 4s there, so you only got 2. So showing off unfortunately costs you a little something as you kind of hurl it at Vibers, who doesn't quite. He kind of collapses under the weight of this thing and has to retire, I'm afraid, as you are now down a man. So yes, Nova's showing off kind of did have consequences there. As Vibers tried to catch it, and it was like, you expected to just lift this thing rather than have the weight come down at you. So Vibers, I'm afraid, falls over as he has to catch this thing.
Unrelated, Finn. Vibers' next smuggling thing is going to be Betazoid body parts.
Right,
the next one.
At the minute, his arm's looking very floppy down one side, and it's like it's definitely popped his shoulder out. It's like, ah.
Yeah, but at least this way you can get that scratch he's been trying to get for ages.
Difficulty is now up to 5. The Klingons are starting to waver as well. Who's going now?
I think we're out to the captain, aren't we?
Well, you can start again with whoever was already had their turns.
5. I would be tempted to burn my last determination on survival at any cost.
Go for it.
No, that's not presence. It's control and security, not presence and command, Dave.
This is going to be fitness and security rather than control, because you're not controlling anything. It's down to pure fitness and pure athleticism and body strength, endurance. 3 successes, cool. So whoever's aiding this needs to earn how many others that are aiding this. Only 2 of you can aid this now because we've already got 3 dice. Are going to need to earn those next 2 successes. So,
bearing in mind there is still a 1 in the bank.
There is still a 1 in the bank if you want to spend that.
Okay, so I can assist.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to assist, or is it all down to?
Okay, we'll assist because we need to, I guess.
Okay, cool. You need 1 success on this, so. And you can only have 1 dice, so. Let's see if you manage. Oh, nice! Very nice. So we've got 1, 2. Why, that was on the bean. You just about hang in there. The captain, however, does fall over and has to excuse herself. Interestingly enough,
come on, Bertram.
Interestingly enough, on the Klingon team, Captain Akul lifts the weight on his side, and he turns to put it down. But just as he puts it down, he stumbles and falls, and he then picks himself up and just shrugs and goes, "Oh well," and walks off.
What a gentleman.
That's what I love him.
In the meantime, though, we are rolling 12d6. So, Webby, roll me those 12d6. As you're all, sweating profusely and struggling to carry this thing now, but it's sheer grit and determination that's getting you through this now. That's a good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. And you get enough to get that final breakthrough. And yes, eventually, after some other members, I mean, Bertram more than likely is going to be one of the ones to exit before anybody else does.
I think at some point on the next one, I was thinking of putting in the long-term determination.
The Helm officer on the Klingon side goes out when more or less the same kind of time Bertram does. It then eventually even it then comes down to the three Klingons versus the three Starfleet types, and eventually it comes down to one of you left. As the Klingon, as the sole remaining Klingon as well, just struggles to hang on. And
roll a d20, guys, and see who wins. See who wins.
Yeah. Nominate. Which
roll a d20.
Huh?
Oh.
Please want to say like high or low.
So it's Matt's decision.
Yeah, interesting. Because
what happens when you let the children decide?
In this game, I was going to go with, because high rolls are less desirable than low rolls, I was going to go with the lowest rolls.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense because Nova, in doing that throw, would have complicated her muscle strength a little bit. Therefore, it would have made more sense that she would be the next to falter. And I don't know, it would have come down to the wire, and you can tell that with the close dice rolls there between Andrews and Fazadan as to who would have stumbled. But in the end, I think the advantage came down to the bionic arm. And Andrews has shown time and time again that she just does not take losing. And it would have been, even if she's, bleeding out of the eyes and ears and mouth from internal hemorrhaging.
Pain receptors.
Yeah, she would have continued on. And it basically came down to the wire with the two first officers squared off against who would be the one to falter last. And it's the Klingon. He's the one who falters. And a great cheer goes up from the crowd on the Federation side. And the Klingons, they kind of growl and grump a bit. But then Lady Jadark holds her hands up and calls for quiet. And says that the victors of this contest are the crew of the Navis, showing that they had the strength of will and determination to see the battle through to the end. But at the end of these contests, the point was not who would win the most. The whole object of the Cmdr was to present the two sets of allies with the knowledge that in the future, after they part company, they will be on opposing sides. And so we come to the end of the ritual. Allies must now part as adversaries. But before we do, all are now invited to share in one final celebration of camaraderie. And at that, from off to one side, a massive vat of blood wine is brought in by a team of like 4 Klingons, and they dump it down in the middle of the arena. And Lady Jadark grabs a tankard, dips it in, holds it aloft, and says, "Now we celebrate the alliance that was, friendships that were made, and hopefully will endure even after this time of conflict is over. And I forget what the Klingon word for cheers is, because I think there is actually a word rather than just the word for victory. And yes, Bertram helps Andrews up as Lady Jaddark is giving her speech. Of course, Captain Ducasse comes over and claps Andrews on the back gently. And yes, the Klingons come over and congratulate, or at the very least, Captain Akul's crew come over and congratulate all of you for an exceptionally well-performed performance, for lack of a better term. And yes, the socializing now begins in earnest as folks from even up on the stands are invited to come down, but before anybody else is allowed to get a drink, all the contestants of the ritual are given first dibs in dunking their tankards. And yes, the rest of the evening passes with everybody having a drink and a battle judge, yes. As everyone comes back to and everyone is now encouraged to swap stories and basically have a good time.
What's about to change?
A good many of the Klingons up in the stands are... They get up and a couple of them leave. But General Kargan, even grudgingly, comes down to, give all the Navis crew their dues, and just kind of loiters about with a tankard of blood wine. Rayna comes down to give you guys congratulations, and much to Thazan to Keval's delight, Shadus comes. Am I getting her name right? Yeah, Shore comes down, accompanied by the Admiral, but she comes down to have some quality fun time with her man. While the captain, Admiral Hebert comes down to congratulate everybody. And during the festivities, Admiral Hebert does bring all of you together around her and says, I just want to make sure that all of you appreciate exactly how necessary this was for everyone concerned. In fact, how beneficial this has been. Even if this blows up into a conflict that lasts months, years, what you all have managed to do here is keep even just a spark, a sliver of the alliance that was alive. And for that, you have my utmost thanks, respect, and congratulations. Just don't let it go to your heads too much. And then she lets everybody enjoy the party. So, does anybody have anything particular they want to do or talk about or address or whatever during the course of this celebration?
Just go in. I wonder what would happen if I actually grew Bertram moss in blood wine. Would it actually be able to interact with biological energy?
Now we go into the turning people into batteries via moss.
Did I show you this multi-adapter? Links anything to anything. Linked a crystal to a beta adapter. So much fun. Yeah, well, Captain Akul reveals. Sorry, I'll get to you in a sec. Hold on to what you were going to say, Davis. I want to come back to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just going to interject this. When Nova says that, Captain MacLeod actually not confesses, but does say that he has, in fact, been following Nova's and the Navis crews in general scientific breakthroughs, and congratulates Nova on the creation of the multi-adapter. It has definite potential. He's just sorry that he won't get to see shared use of the thing. But sorry, someone's going to say something there?
I was going to say, can I give him one?
He accepts it with great humility, and thanks you very much for it. Davis, what are you going to say?
I can't remember now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. It's a flippant comment.
He's going to follow his love of smuggling with Rainer.
He's not smuggling.
I know what it was.
You have no proof of anything.
You were going to lock down the blood wine with the Vibers protocol so only a trill can drink some.
Ooh,
Now,
I'm not giving away Navis secrets. Oh,
Now,
that's the thing I
go
am
on.
going to do before I leave.
Yep.
Let's take the Admiral protocol off the station.
Ah, yes. Surreptitiously take the program off the main computer, yes. Now, it goes without saying that the Klingon constitution for blood wine is a lot hardier than regular human folks are. So, this stuff is pretty hardcore, and you're pretty sure, unless the doc does his magic, you're going to be waking up with hangovers tomorrow. And the taste takes some getting used to, because there's definitely a very coppery, metallic twang to it that does make
Quite
you.
a nice batch.
I mean, from what I recall, Nobulan physiology is quite hardcore as well.
So if you like heating a battery when you were younger, you might like the taste of this stuff.
I'm thinking
Hey,
mostly
it's
the
a
humans.
better batch than out of Kittimer. So good.
So
again-
I've got a fast metabolism, so it's going to hit me.
Oh,
hard, but
yes.
It's going to get over. It's going to be over faster.
Yeah.
Take
So,
a shit and fall down.
The Andorians are going to be out of the mixer very quickly.
Now the question is, do the Andorians hang around long enough to fall out the mix very quickly? Or
Yeah.
do they disappear early to go in and take advantage of the time available in the quarters?
Well, that's entirely up to them, isn't it? What are you going to say, Jan?
Time is precious.
Indeed. We'll leave that between them, maybe. Offers the commander of Klingon vessel her personal phaser pistol as a sign of good faith between the two XOs. Yeah. Yes, and he does accept it.
Andrews doesn't have a
swapping
lot of
weapons.
Andrews doesn't have a lot of sort of like personal possessions, so it's like it's the one thing that she actually uses.
And then you would be walking around with the Klingon disruptor from then on.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's
not a
like-
disruptor. He actually gives you his duck dog.
Ooh.
Ooh, I'll take
So
a duck
it's
dog.
his knife with his personal family heraldry on. So, yes. As the evening does wind down a bit, Captain Akul is one of the few left standing. And he looks around at the other Klingons, and just kind of, as he's leaning on the barrel of blood wine, he just kind of chuckles to himself while he's drinking. Saying, "Well, if only I'd have been slightly stronger and maintained my grip on that stone. Oh well, there we go." He kind of gives you all a sly wink. But
We'll see how it goes when we come back then.
We'll have the blood
Indeed,
wine
yes.
keep the blood wine chilled.
Chilled? It has to be blood temperature.
Gotta be warm. You don't want it cold.
Hey, cold, you'll coagulate, surely.
Yes, exactly. Oh, can you
Well,
imagine how
then
heavy
you
that
get-
would be in your stomach?
You get blood wine jelly then. Bit of cream on top.
Yikes.
Oh.
Don't you freeze your enemies' blood in their veins before you kill them?
Oh, slowly.
That's only on Andoria.
If you can't take the chill, get off of my planet.
I heard an old saying, I think this one's Andorian. They're not dead until they're warm and dead?
You kill them, warm them up. They're like, ha! He died warm.
And they're not dead until they melt the snow.
Is that where they say, you can take my weapon when you pry it from my lukewarm, dead hands?
You just drag the dead body back into your house to warm it up, and they're like, ha ha ha, you're dead now.
Counts.
We put a blanket and a scarf over it. Do a bit quicker.
Hypothermia.
I've heard of kill him with kindness before, but never quite in this fashion.
It's disrespectful for it's sort of like, you know how the Klingons is like you have to die in battle, otherwise it's dishonourable. For the Andorians is you have to die cold or it's dishonourable.
That's why we go to space, because you're guaranteed to be cold.
It's very cold in space.
You don't put old age Andorians in homes. You just stick them in space to get rid of them quicker.
So we have Bolians and Vulcans in charge of the bridge's temperature while all this has been going on. Our ship ain't cold no more.
Toasty as hell. Yeah.
No. Well, yes. Sadly, there comes a point at which the festivities do have to end, and final goodbyes are made. Some folks have already, of course, wandered off into their respective quarters or wherever that is that they've chosen to meet. Some might even try and keep the night going. Who knows? But one thing you do know is that come the morrow, the evacuation of Narendra Station will begin in earnest, and all Federation personnel will have to leave. And from that point onwards, the Klingon ships, people you meet, you will have to view with suspicion and maybe expect hostility. But until then, you've at least got this night. And that's where we're gonna end it for tonight, I'm afraid. That was quite sad at the end there, I have to say. Getting a bit emotional. But that's not the end of our story, oh no, because next time we will have the next part, the next episode, where, yes, we'll see what happens from there. But the first thing I, of course, have to check is whether or not everyone is free on the 20th of December to continue.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm just checking.
Okay.
I believe so.
Excellent. Alrighty then. So then, folks, if I can just ask
sure thing.
everyone not to disappear immediately, because we've got some reputation, or rather what we're now using, which will be a claim to sort out. But that's not for you folks who are watching at home to worry about. That's for the rest of us to sort out. So, for those of you who are watching the stream, thank you very much for being in attendance, if you have been. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching as well. And if you get the chance to drop this video a like, just so that we can keep the algorithm viewing those of us who do Star Trek Adventures favourably. And we'll also help out some of the other guys doing this along the way. So, thank you guys for watching. Live long and prosper. And we'll see you guys next week. Hailing frequencies are now closed.